What's up, beautiful people? Hey, I want to appreciate y'all for tuning in week after week after week with Between the Lines. I'm your host, Clay Hodges, and I have a very special guest today. I have, man, these are my homies, man. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, before I gained this name of Clay Hodges, back when my name was Claydo, back when I was 100 pounds heavier, when I was just getting my music off the ground, these guys, like, helped provide me a platform. They did the event y'all did, what was it, downtown?
Like Gentry appreciation event.
Gentry appreciation event. Had a big turnout. They let me perform at it. And, you know, believe it or not, but that helped launch me a little bit, man, honestly, because a lot of people didn't know what I could do, but y'all gave me that platform to perform outside of an open mic. And the rest is history, man. And these guys have been big supporters of me, so it's only right that I try my best to reach out back and try to show that same support, man. They've been behind me. My first ever event, my first concert, they was right there behind me as sponsors. They donated T-shirts. They donated their time, their money. This man Cheese, this man went and got pizza for everybody at the venue. Like, I appreciate y'all so much, man. So I just want y'all to get a piece of their mind, because not only these guys intelligent and wise, these guys are business savvy, and also like they know a couple of things, man. They know a couple of things. So, man, I want to introduce the owners and creators of Gentry, Jamel, Cheese, aka also known as Cheese, and Jason, also known as Africa, also known as Mac. Is it Mac and Cheese? But yeah, man, how you fellas doing, man?
Good, man. Good, brother.
Y'all doing good?
Yes, sir.
Man, so tell the people, man, how did you guys meet?
I know Cheese from when we was little, like probably like about 9, 10, about 10 years old, playing football. Yeah, playing football.
Park.
Yep. Right in our neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a friendship started early on.
Yeah.
So at what point did you guys be like, you know what, let's do some business together?
Honestly, I feel like it started more with him, because like with his granddaddy, you know what I'm saying? Like his granddaddy, he used to talk about how his granddaddy had grocery stores and all this other type of business. Yeah, and all that. Like me personally, I didn't even know a black person could even own their own business, like growing up. Like I didn't even know that.
Why is it, because you didn't see it? Or?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something that I saw and that was shown to me, so I didn't even know that. But he used to talk about his granddaddy all the time. And like I remember back when we was like maybe 15, and me, him, and our friend Petey, and we was like, man, let's cook. You know what I'm saying? Like let's cook, because all of us were working at restaurants at the time. And like my mama just was like, you know, y'all got this, and like give us like a whole list of stuff that we didn't have, and we was just like, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was just always on his mind to do it. So that was like pretty much where it started with us, like wanting to do something together.
To be entrepreneur. So it was you, Cheese.
Yeah.
You was the one who sparked the entrepreneurship between you guys. So what sparked it with you?
I was working in my granddaddy barbershop sweeping. At 6 years old. Working the cash register in the grocery store. He giving me stuff to do, stuff like that, and I just always wanted to own my own.
You always wanted to own your own. And on your own you have, man. So let me ask you guys, like, what got you into creating the brand Gentry? Like, what sparked that? And, you know, tell the people the significance of the brand and what it represents as well, too.
Well, what sparked it, I think, when it started, I always wanted to do fashion. I love clothes. He loved clothes, you know. And then, like, I remember, I forgot where we was when you did your first T-shirt. When you did the painting and stuff on the T-shirt.
The finger paint T-shirt.
The finger paint. I remember you talking about that.
The finger paint T-shirt, and like, that stuck in my head. But I always wanted to do fashion too. So him with that and me, then we came along. I tried to open up a little clothing, like maybe like a what you want to call it, like for the neighborhood, like selling T-shirts, just plain T-shirts, stuff like that. But that didn't work out with me and another one of my homeboys. And then he went off to the Army and came back, and I'm like, man, we got to do something. And then we just came together, and I forgot what the first one was.
Well, for I remember, because it started because him and our homeboy Petey, like I just wanted just to like make my own shirt, because I used to see people like go like get RIP shirts made, and I was like, I just wanted to do my own shirt. And him and our homeboy Petey, like they took me to. I remember them.
Not to cut you off, but for those who don't know, RIP shirts is like something we do in our community. Like when someone that we know, a friend of ours died, like we'll get a shirt to, you know, just remember them and to show appreciation for their life. I had to put that out there because not everybody watches the show. So my bad. Continue.
No, you good. But I wanted to do my own shirts, and him and our friend Petey took me. I was like, man, take me to Toys R Us, like so I could go buy me some finger paint. And they took me to Toys R Us. I went and bought like just big pack of Crayola finger paint, and I started doing my own shirts. And like I used to just like like my neighborhood, my name, like people that I knew, like people I was around. You know what I mean? Like side of town I was from, my neighborhood I was from, and like I remember wearing it, and people was like, where you get that shirt? I was like, I just made it. And like that was like kind of like my first spark of like actually like making my own shirts, and people was like, make me one. So I used to make them for people, and they got tired of making them like make your own shirts. I used to give people like paint and like get them like the paint I was buying.
Do it yourself.
Exactly, you know what I mean. So like, and I was kind of like encouraging them to like be creative on their own. You know what I mean.
Right.
And I remember going to a beach and high basketball game, which is like a real big basketball game in Savannah, like pretty much two biggest rivalry in Savannah. And I remember wearing a black T-shirt with white letters, and I had a pair of black Jabot pants with the white letters with some black Reeboks. And like I remember wearing, like I had like East Side and like my neighborhood and like my name, and like I remember walking into the game, and people were just like, what where you get this from? And like people I ain't even know was like running to me like, where you get that from? Like what kind of shirt is that? Like, you know what I mean? So like that was kind of like the spark for me to like,
I can do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you guys put your heads together and y'all developed the brand Gentry.
Yeah.
So tell everybody, what is Gentry? What does that represent? What does it mean?
The meaning of gentry is well-born, well-bred, the most highest people of society.
Yeah.
So we kind of infused it, that being, well-born, well-bred, something of greatness. We wanted to put that, entwine it with, what we did and loved as a child, what we learned, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of took the brick, you see it's a brick and a Lego. Lego represents your inner youth, your childhood, your kid, everything you loved and did as a child. The brick represents the adulthood of it. We wanted to infuse both of them together. So, like, just say I got kids, like I want to teach them what I learned and what I can, my upcoming, and for them to be creative and be great or anything that they love to do as well. So that's how we came up with the brand Gentry.
Yeah, and I found the name Gentry in the dictionary because I had like a list of names of brands that I wanted to start. Because I remember the day like, I was like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? Just for me, like before I even started making shirts in high school, like I remember like just like a white T-shirt was just like people go buy. You know that was a thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember my mama sending me to school, in elementary school, like a white T-shirt, tank top, jeans, shoes, and like they told my mom I couldn't wear a white T-shirt to school because that was considered underwear. You know what I mean? So like a T-shirt was always just something. You know what I mean? To me, I had already had a list of names that I wanted to use, and I remember like I had a dictionary. And I was like, whatever I'm opening up this dictionary, whatever first 2 pages that I find a name on, like if I find a name that I like, I'm gonna use it. And I remember opening it up to the G's in the dictionary, and like I was just like reading all the definitions to the words, and like I came across the word gentry, and I had heard the word gentrification before, but I never really heard the word gentry by itself. So when I read the definition, I was like, that's kind of cool. And as time progressed, like we would sit down, we had like maybe 3 names, and there was one that we wanted to use for sure, and like it was already taken, like on the USPTO, the Patent and Trademark Office website. And then I was like, what about Gentry? I told him the definition, and he was like, I think we should use that. And we just went with that.
I like that. And it's a powerful word, man. And I remember when I first met you guys and you were talking about Gentry, and you also were using it in a positive way as you guys do with your brand. Not only is it just a genesis of a childhood, but it's a genesis of a culture, of a people. And at the end of the day, we all have royalty within us, and it's important for us to realize that, tap into that, and express it to the world. And we're going to take a little quick break, and we're going to get into a segment. The segment is called Cross the Lines. And in this segment, you guys, the viewers, please leave a comment below the video and share with us a moment that someone has crossed the line on you, or you crossed the line on someone else. And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It could be something positive. Like I have something positive that I crossed the line on. So recently, one of my friends, Rob Hessler, the first guest that I had come in for Between the Lines, he brought to my attention that a local radio station was looking to expand and get some new people in. So I was like, okay, cool, let me just try it out and see how it works. So I went to the orientation, everything was cool, and I submitted a show. I got an email back, and they was interested in my show. They had set me down for a meeting. I expressed it in my ideas for the show, and they sent me an email back the next day, and they approved it. So, I mean, you know, if everything work out, Lord willing, I'll be also hosting a radio show as well. So that's a big line for me to cross, man, because y'all know, like, just me doing music, expanding, doing these different forms of art is all brand new to me, but it's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, it's cool. And you guys crossing the line too, man. Y'all kicking Gentry back up, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, man, and we're going to get into the story, like, what made you guys fall off? Because at one point you guys were so successful, doing really well, selling shirts across seas in Japan and having, you know, celebrities like Currency wearing your shirts and all of that good stuff, man. And then after a while, it just kind of seemed like the hype died down.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened?
I feel like we crossed the line. Going back to the whole crossing the line, I feel like we crossed the line because we stepped away, because we kind of like kept putting it on the back burner, like we're going to do these other things that's going to like make us a bunch of money that weren't really things that we really do every day. And it was like, we going to do this and we going to make a good bit of money and we going to invest that money and put it back in the Gentry. And we ended up not putting something out for like almost 2 years.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
the store, right?
Exactly, like the store and the car. We had a car wash and we were working on 2 separate stores, and like we crossed the line with ourselves by like putting something that we were already doing and was successful. Like we put that on the back burner to do a bunch of other stuff and to do business with other people who weren't didn't have our best interest at heart. You know what I mean? So we crossed the line with ourselves because we live with morals. Like we got our own personal moral. Like we got morals as men, and then like we got our own code between you know what I'm saying, between each other. And I feel like us allowing other people who weren't who just wanted just a piece of the pie. They weren't there to like actually go buy the ingredients and make the pie and put the pie together and like put it in the oven. They just wanted just to like sit at the table and like eat a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? And we allowed that, and that's what we crossed the line with ourselves, because if you're not here with us when we going to buy the ingredients and we struggling to make this pie and we figuring out the perfect recipe to make this pie, like it's no need for you to sit here and enjoy this pie with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So we crossed the line with ourselves by doing that.
Yeah, so you guys got a little sidetracked, but now you guys are right back on track. So you coming out with the new collection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it was centered. What was it centered around? I want to get it wrong.
It's pretty much us going back to the drawing board, because like I said, we went on a 2-year hiatus, so it's pretty much us going back to the drawing board, and it's pretty much like the whole blueprint and the collection is built with Gentry. And before you can build anything, before you can start a foundation or anything, like you have to put it on paper and you have to start your blueprint first. Like that's the first, any architectural structure that you see, it starts from a blueprint. You know what I mean? It's not just from brain to like going to build it. You know what I mean? Like it start, even if you go to a Lego store, that they give you instructions on how to make a Ninja Turtle or a van. You know what I mean? Like the Ninja Turtle van, it gives you instructions on how to do it, so they put it on paper first. So it's pretty much, Build with Gentry is just pretty much us going back to the drawing board, going back to the blueprint, and like, hey, we gonna start from the initial point that we were at. That's why we going back to the collection that you see me and him wearing right now, which is the original pieces, and we call it the Always collection, which is because it's something that we gonna always make. As long as we allow, we gonna always make it. You know what I mean? But the Build with Gentry collection is just us going back to the drawing board and us just like going sky high from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys doing that. And one thing I always appreciate about your brand is that you guys use the shirt, and you guys always looked at it as art, and you guys use your art to like put out positive messages and to inform people. Right. I remember a couple years back, I think it was in February, I think you guys put out a collection when y'all was putting out like black achievements. Right. Like I had the shirt with the water gun on it. It was really popular. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know a black man invented the Super Soaker, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was a lot of other things, and you guys always seem to like put something positive and meaningful in your art. Like, why is that important to you?
Because a lot of people don't know a lot of things, like how you just say the black guy invented the Super Soaker. A lot of people didn't know that till we, like, our childhood friends, even family members. And then like I was in the store, cause I had that sweatshirt on last week in the store. Lady pulled the hoodie up and was reading the back. She said, "Oh, I didn't know that." So it's really to inform people like stuff that they're not teaching us in schools. It's still teaching the same curriculum they was teaching when we was in school. And I'm 34 now, and I got daughters that's going to high school next year. So it's like history. Our history is important to us as well, especially on inventing stuff and just what our people have done. So that's another reason why we did that too.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So what you guys have in store? Is anything new that you have coming up that's really meaningful?
Actually, we with the Build with Gentry collection, it's actually something that we incorporated into the Build with Gentry collection is Martin Luther King, because it's an old speech that Martin Luther King, I think he did in like 67 or 68, I forgot the
One
year.
or two.
And he did this speech, and the whole speech was about what's your life's blueprint. You know what I mean? And like I remember like looking at this speech, and I was like, that's the perfect, like that fits perfectly into what, you know, the whole Build with Gentry thing.
Yeah.
And I started the design when I was living in Charlotte for Build with Gentry, and this was like almost 3 years ago. This was
Right.
like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? When I was living it, so I've been had the whole Build with Gentry thing. So for me to see this Martin Luther King speech, I was like, this is something that we got to incorporate into it. You know what I mean? So people can like get themselves together. You know what I mean? Because with us starting Gentry, like it helped us get so much. It helped us learn so much, and it helped us get so many things in order that we weren't even thinking about. You know what I mean? Because like we been taking trips, like, you know what I mean, like taking trips to like different states, Houston, New Orleans, Atlanta, like going back and forth to Atlanta, like going to South Carolina, like selling shirts, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
like it helped us get like to this point, you know what I mean. And we just, you know, it's just a thing where we just know we got to just go back to the beginning, you know what I mean.
You just gotta go back to the beginning.
And something else that we doing, we incorporating, we starting like new divisions of Gentry also, and one of the divisions is called Black, and that's just strictly for Black people. It's just strictly for the education of Black people. It's strictly for us going back to, you know, the whole it takes a village to raise a child type of, you know what I mean, mentality. Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean, because that's something that we strayed so far away from.
Yeah, we do.
And just something that we need to go back to, and it's gonna take a lot, but it's something that we know we have to go back to. So this whole Gentry, the whole Black division, that's gonna be an umbrella, like under the Gentry umbrella. That's something that we focusing on. We actually doing we're gonna start a women's division also.
Oh, yeah.
We starting a women's
Okay.
division. We starting a kids division, and we starting a division on like just touching on like classic and legendary material, and that is called Classics and Legends, and we probably end up doing that first, but we doing all that, you know what I mean. Like we gonna make sure that we touch on everything, and we gonna have something for everybody, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, man. It sound like y'all boys really getting it.
Yeah.
Y'all really
Yeah.
getting it. Y'all not taking this for granted anymore. Y'all
Mhm.
really taking this opportunity to really push the brand forward and the ideas and the thoughts.
Mhm.
So when could we expect some of this new material?
The
Someday in February, the Build with Gentry will be
yeah,
out next
yeah,
month.
Build with Gentry
Next
will be
month?
early February. Yeah.
So,
And if you know, everything else will just come out over time and progressively. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, as time passes by. So, yeah. But we got it, man. We own it.
and that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah. Thank you,
Man, I
bro.
want to thank you guys for coming in, man. I
Yeah.
really appreciate y'all. And it's just a blessing to have y'all in my presence. As always, it's been so long, so long.
Yeah.
Man, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, man. Soul food, giving us that soul food, man, with Gentry brand. Man, thank you for tuning in to Between the Lines, and we will see you guys next week.